wholesome, unimpaired. Look at this. Innocent. Having integrity. Christians talk so bad about the Father's law. They call it the law. Law done away with. Law. Paul talks so bad about the law. Law nailed to the cross. Then you had some wicked Hebrew Israelites. They coming up talking about, well, Paul was not talking about the Torah. He was talking about the oral law. I'm like, what is that? He never said oral law. Yeah, they made that up. They just made it up, son. I promise you.
You know, they call it gaslighting. You just make up stuff.
Well, that's what they did. They made up stuff
to divert it from logic and facts.
They just made stuff up. This is what they did.
It's the oral law.
The oral law, meaning they just spoke it. What kind of law is that? What is that? Oral law doesn't exist. It's a figment of someone's imagination. I went into Aubrey, I looked for the oral law. I couldn't even find it. But teachers can teach stuff that's not written in scriptures. The pastors did it to us. So the Hebrew Israelites are continuing to do the same thing. What is complete or entirely in accord with truth and fact?
I like that.
This Torah cannot be changed because it's perfect. If you change it in the least way, it becomes imperfect. That's what happens. See, the English version of the Torah we have, it's imperfect. There's some things wrong. That's why we have to go into the Aubrey.
And that's why it said anyone that changes a jot or tittle, they can be cursed.
Anyone that changes any jot or tittle, that's correct.
If you change this at all, it's wicked.
We're going to see that. Look at this. It's complete, it's full. And we see the word perfect again. Sincerely, without spot, undefiled, upright, whole. The Torah is all of this. This is what this verse is saying here. When we see, you can read it in the Bible. I shouldn't have did that. You saw what I did. When you read it in the Bible, the law of the Lord is perfect. You'll think, that's all it's saying here. But it's saying a whole lot more than this. And so we need to understand. Make sure everybody can see the screen. I'm assuming, hey, what's up with this? All right, it's okay. I'm like, what's going on up here? I see what's happening. Everybody see this Word document, correct? If you can't, let me know, but I'm assuming everybody can see this Word document. All right, I took notes from 2 different places. This is what I did. I took notes from 2 different places. Now, of course, I don't agree with everything in the Bible. Let me just say it, especially the New Testament. There's some things that are conflicting with what we have in Torah. And so the things that don't go with Torah, we discard. If it connects, all right, then we can look at the connection. But watch the connection that's coming from some notes that I took from the Essenes. Come on, read this.
I will preserve your Kadash seed and make with you a covenant of the people to renew the face of the earth and return everything back to its roots.
So he's talking about preserving your Kadash seed here and make with you a covenant of the people to renew the face of the earth. This has always been the plan. He told Noah and his family, be fruitful and multiply. This was the plan, to replenish the earth with a Kadash seed, not a wicked seed.
And to cause the desolate places to be rescued from the very hands of those doing the spoiling.
So he's going to make a place, cause a desolate places, wilderness, to be rescued from the very hands of those doing the spoiling. He's talking about rescuing a people that has been plundered.
That you may say to the captives, go forth and be set free.
So this that you can say to the captives, those that have been captive in all the world, go forth, be set free. These are the words we want to hear.
even as you were born free, even as you spoke by the mouth of your Kadash prophets, which have been with us since the world's beginning, even the first man, your first prophet, and now my son, Yahuah.
So we're talking about, this is, of course, we're talking about a people being set free. As the Most High spoke from the mouth of the prophets, the Kadash prophets, you have been with us since the beginning. The Most High was with the first man. He was with the first woman, the first two. And then the seed started, when the seed go off, that's when he leaves. Your first, the first man, first prophet, and now my son Yahuah. Okay, we know this, of course, it's coming from Zacharias. We know Yahuah as they call him John the Baptist. This is who's speaking here.
Which you have given us, in that we should be saved from our enemies.
We've been looking for salvation from our enemies.
In order to perform the favor promised to our ancestors, always thoughtful of your Kadash covenant of old.
We must always be thoughtful of the new covenant. See, they didn't think like this. These people were living in the time of Yahusha, and look how they were talking here. We don't hear this talk in the New Testament. Always thoughtful of your Kadash covenant of old. Did not the prophet say, seek out the ancient of all the prophecies? Ecclesiastes 39. We should know this. And not seeking for some prophecy from Shaul. We got these Christians talking about the falling away. I watched this video with these Christians. They talking about the falling away. We're in the midst of the falling away. Paul prophesied a falling away. What prophet talked about a falling away? We did a video on this. We've been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yahusha up downs. But we know our situation. All right, this is concerned. Let's go. We have to do this in order to clear up some of these lies. Let's go into Yahusha's birth. Watch this.
In the 6th month, the Malak, I don't know the Arby form.
A Malak
was sent from Yahuah to a sea in Galilee?
They call it Galilee.
Galilee, named Nazareth. He was sent to a young woman to be given in marriage to a man whose name was Yahusha.
So he was sent to a virgin. We know the virgin story. See, if we go into the Pesach, all of this comes up because they do Easter and they changed everything with this Easter madness. And then they came up with this Christmas madness, this birth in December 25th, Roman Catholic madness.
Yahusha of the house of Dud.
So he was sent, this Malak was sent to the virgin to be given in marriage to a man. See, this is about to blow the virgin birth out of the woods here.
The virgin's name was Marine.
Okay, Marine.
When she saw the Malak, she was perplexed by what he was telling her. She pondered what kind of dream this might be. The Malak said to her, "Don't be afraid, Marine, for you have found favor with Yahuah."
You have found favor with Yahuah. Now, we've heard this story many times in Christianity, but this is what they can't teach this. Keep going.
Behold, you will conceive and bring forth a child from your womb.
You will conceive. If you know how a woman conceived, this is what he was telling her. You will conceive and bring forth a child from your womb.
And he will be great and will be called a son of the highest.
And
Yahuah will give him the throne of his father Dud.
This is the setup. This is the setup we don't know about. The Christians think it's about Christianity. But we're talking about he will give him the throne of his father Dud. This is about being set up in a kingdom and not Christianity and dying and going to heaven. In Christianity, it was all about accepting him, accepting his blood, him dying for us, and going to heaven. That was it.
And he will reign over the house of Jacob forever.
He's going to do what?
Reign.
He's reigning over the house of Christians forever. See, this stuff doesn't go well over with the New Testament and with the Roman Catholic doctrine.
Of his kingdom there be no end.
They don't even know his kingdom. His kingdom come, his will be done. They don't know what that means. His kingdom is to come. His rule with no end in the kingdom is to come. They want no part of that. They want to go to heaven where the Father is. Wicked, profane people talking all this. They eating flesh and drinking blood. They talking about going to heaven where the Father is.
Then Marim said to the Malak,
Watch this.
how is this going to happen?
How is this going to happen?
Seeing that I have not had sexual relations with a man.
You got to have sexual relation with a man in order for a woman to conceive. Very simple to understand. What the Malak said.
The Malak answered, Ruach HaKadosh will come upon Yahusha, your spouse.
Who?
Yahusha.
Whoa! See, that's not what Christians teach. The Ruach HaKadosh will come upon Yahusha, your spouse,
And the power of the highest will overshadow you.
and the power of the Almighty, the highest, will overshadow you. So we're talking about power coming on both of them.
O Marim, that Kadosh babe born of you will be called the Mashiach,
He's going to be called the Mashiach.
the child of Yahuah. His name on earth will be Yahusha. He will save the people from their iniquities.
All right. Hold up. His name going to be called Yahusha. He will save the people from their iniquity. Now, how? Here we go. This is the part we can't get in this Roman Catholic world we're in today. How is he going to save his people from their iniquity?
Whoever repents
Whoever repents.
and obeys his Torah.
We can't get away from obeying this perfect Torah.
He will save from their iniquities.
See, Paul said, believe in your heart and confess with your mouth and you be saved. Now I'm confused and conflicted. Who are you going to believe? At the end of the day, we got to believe something. Somebody's right and somebody's wrong. You got to obey the Torah for this salvation. You got to do what he say do for this salvation. You got to obey his commandments. When he says something from the prophets, you disobey. Don't expect salvation.
As Yaseb thought about these words, he was distressed.
He was distressed.
And the Malak of Yahuah said to him, Don't be afraid, Yaseb, son of Dud, for you have found favor with Yahuah. Be aware, you will beget a child.
Be aware, you will beget a child. Listen, family, we know Torah. He was the husband to be. She was betrothed to him. And they teach wickedness. Yahuah got Marim pregnant. Y'all see this wickedness? This stuff ain't supposed. This is against Torah. So if you don't know Torah, I can teach this and people will believe it. Most of the world believe this. And when they hear anything different, they go against it.
That's what the fallen ones
Yeah. They did that. That's correct.
did.
They slept with the fallen ones. My son said that's what the fallen ones did. They looked down on the daughters of men. And they came down and slept with them. They're saying the Father did the same thing. Unfortunately, churches in the camps believe in this madness until this day. They call it Immaculate Conception.
That sounds bad.
This is what they call it. But this, we're reading something